My name is Andrew Morales, and this is my economic final presentation. Um, I did my presentation on the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration. Okay, so this is the introduction. Income inequality is defined as an uneven distribution of income, where a small group controls most of the wealth, leaving others struggling to meet basic needs. In quarter 1, 2021, 69.1% of wealth in the United States was owned by the top 10% of Americans. This is from Sharia Nabi at the Aspen Institute. Perpetuating poverty. Concentrated wealth limits opportunities for the poor, reducing access to education, healthcare, and economic participation. Those who suffer economically feel disparaged and don't work as hard as those who are rewarded and are allowed to succeed. Low income forces survival focused spending, preventing long term investments and keeping individuals in poverty. The definition of a poverty trap. Poverty traps are self-reinforcing cycles where lack of resources and structural barriers preventing escaping poverty without external help. Economic growth impacts. Poverty traps stifle productivity, limit consumer spending, and underutilize talent, reducing innovation and economic contributions. If those who are talented cannot seem to succeed under your system, they will not succeed and your economy will cease to grow. Guaranteed income programs. Guaranteed income programs help those who are already struggling to make it succeed. It helps those who cannot pay for everything. It helps them day to day. The objective of these programs is to reduce poverty and stabilize the income of those who need help. Conceptual analysis. Unequal income distribution reduces consumer spending and widens economic disparities, hampering overall growth. The goal of guaranteed income is to boost aggregate demand by providing financial resources directly to individuals. If more people have more money, this will lead to an increase in overall money supply. Poverty traps. Self reinforcing cycles of low income that limit upward mobility and perpetuate poverty. Breaking poverty cycles. Cash infusions enable individuals to cover basic needs, invest in opportunities, and escape poverty. Those who have excess income are allowed to invest in real estate, stock, or other assets that will allow them to further themselves economically. Multiplier effect. Increased consumption from guaranteed income stimulates local economies and economic activity. An example of this multiplier effect was seen in local businesses which reported higher sales due to the increased spending by seed participants. This extra spending helped support economic stability for small businesses, which in turn helped maintain jobs and contributed to tax revenues that further supported the economy, per the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration, ND. Economic growth potential. By addressing income inequality, guaranteed incomes programs foster a more equitable and sustainable economy. Historical examples. The Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration, or SEED, was launched in 2019. This program provided $500 per month to 125 low income residents in Stockton, California, for a 2 year period from 2019 to 2021. The primary goal was to test the impact of guaranteed income on reducing financial instability and improving overall well being among participants. Financial stability. Participants in the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration, or SEED, reported a reduction in financial strain. Because they had more income coming in through through government help, they had less stress in their daily lives and were allowed to think and allowed to save more money. This helped them manage their basic monthly expenses such as rent, utilities, and groceries. This increase in financial stability allowed them to focus on longer term goals like education and job training, per the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration from, Carolomi and Weimer. Improved mental health. Because there was an increase in cash flow in the participants' supply, they felt less pressured and less worried about how they were going to survive month to month. The steady cash flow led to lower levels of stress and anxiety as individuals felt less financial pressure and more control over their lives. Increased employment opportunities. The extra income helped participants afford job training, transportation, and childcare, leading to greater employment and opportunities and increased work participation. Because the government invested in its citizens, the citizens were allowed to educate themselves and further themselves in education. They received other types of job training, which helped them create opportunities for themselves. Long term benefits. Seed demonstrated that guaranteed income not only alleviates immediate financial hardship, but also fosters long term economic resilience by providing a foundation for individuals to pursue opportunities and improve their quality of life. Guaranteed income programs like the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration directly contribute to reducing income volatility for participants. With $500 per month, recipients could better manage day-to-day expenses such as rent, utilities, and groceries, creating a financial cushion. This stability allowed them to plan ahead and pursue longer-term goals such as education or saving for emergencies. For example, seed participants reported improved financial security, with many noting that they felt less anxious about unexpected costs. Per West et al. 2021. In 2019, recipients of the SEED program went from an unemployment rate of 28% to an employment rate of 40%. In 2020, this is in stark contrast to the control group, who only saw a 5% increase from 32% to 37%, per the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration. As we can see by this graph, I'll make it a little bigger. As we can see by this graph, the control group in 1 year only went up by 5%, whereas the participants went up from 28% all the way up to 40%, an increase of 12 total percent. Concerned about guaranteed income programs is the cost. Critics argue that funding these programs would require a lot of money, potentially taking resources away from other important public services like education or healthcare. They worry that paying for guaranteed income could place a burden on taxpayers and make it harder to fund other programs. While funding can cost and be expensive, people that support these economic programs argue that the long term benefits outweigh the costs. For example, providing guaranteed income can reduce poverty and improve people's mental health, which can lead to lower healthcare costs. It also helps stimulate the economy by encouraging people to spend more locally. This can increase business activity and tax revenues, which may actually help cover the program's costs. A study of the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration Program showed that people who use their guaranteed income for basic needs like food, which help local businesses grow and increase tax income, per the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration, also providing financial support to low income individuals can reduce the need for government spending on emergency health care and other services in the future. Carolee and Weimer, 2021. By focusing on the long term benefits and how the program could actually pay for itself through an increased tax revenue and lower costs in other areas, proponents believed guaranteed income could be a smart investment. Other critiques are political. Some people, especially conservatives and libertarians, are strongly against guaranteed income programs. They believe that giving people regular, unconditional payments could make them depend on government support instead of working or improving their skills. These critics worry that it could lead to laziness and long term dependence on government aid. However, research from programs like SEED show little evidence that guaranteed income leads to laziness or dependency. In fact, many participants in SEED found that having stable income helped them get jobs and become more self sufficient. For example, people in Stockton were more likely to secure full time jobs than those in the control group. West and Baker, 2021. Conclusions and key findings. Key findings. Positive economic impact. Guaranteed income programs like SEED reduce financial strain, improve mental health, and boost local economic activity. Participants showed higher employment rates and invested in education and job training. Weston Baker 2021. Poverty reduction and financial stability. These programs help break poverty traps by providing financial stability, enabling recipients to focus on long term goals, reducing reliance on other forms of assistance. Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration. Multiplier effect. Increased spending from guaranteed income stimulates local businesses, contributing to economic growth and generating additional tax revenue. Per Caroli, and Weimer, 2021. Simplified policy recommendations for scaling guaranteed income programs. Evaluate and expand programs. It's important to carefully assess pilot programs like SEED to understand their impact. This help ensures that these programs can be expanded effectively over time. Explore funding options. Governments should look for different ways to fund these programs. For example, they can partner with businesses or use savings from reduced social programs to support guaranteed income. They can combine with other services. Guaranteed income should be paired with other services like job training or healthcare to help people lift themselves and to strengthen the economy. Because if there is more people who are if there is more educated people, there are higher paying jobs for those people. Start gradually. Rolling out these programs slowly, especially in areas with high poverty, really helps bolster up an economy. This way, adjustments can be made based on local needs and results, leading to smoother implementation and on a larger scale. Thank you.